Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you all saw my original video, just giving you a bit of an introduction, a bit of an oversight of what the channel's about, and where we're going to go from here. This journey, brand new channel, brand new account, something I've never done before. So yeah, it's going to be a big thing. So yeah, we'll get stuck right into it. So as I told you in my first video, my name's Joe, 37, and I was diagnosed at the beginning of June with a condition called LHON, which stands for Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy. It's a genetic condition passed through the maternal side of the gene pool. It's something that I was aware of. My uncle does suffer with this condition. He lost his sight at 18. So it's something that has been, as far as my life, has been always on my radar. Obviously, growing up, I didn't know the ins and outs of it, but I knew that my uncle was blind. So I was tested for the condition about 13 years ago when I was 24. I was told that I had it then, but was told, due to what they knew about LHON, that I had passed basically the threshold of developing it. So what they knew about it then, 13 years ago, obviously there's more research gone into the condition, but what they knew about it then, that it tended to affect males up to the age of about 21. There were some cases of being older, but basically at the age of 24, I'd passed the threshold for it, and it generally affected males. Now, since then, it has gone on to be discovered that it affects females as well in very rare cases. And obviously, the age bracket has gone up. So, if I take you back to possibly about the end of April this year, 25, I've noticed some deterioration within my eyesight. I put it down to I used to wear glasses, and while at work, I noticed that I was struggling a little bit with my right eye, but I put it down to like the glare from the sun on my screens at work, my glasses needing a clean, but constantly. Um, and then so that went on for a couple of weeks, and I said to my partner, May time, that I needed to get my eyes tested. I'd only had a new prescription September, October last year, so it did seem a bit strange that I'd need a new one, but that's the only thing I could put it down to. So I managed to get an appointment on the 10th of May, went to the opticians, obviously got called in, sat there, asked to, for those of you who may know, for those who don't, you get, it's like a little handheld thing that covers one eye, and you have to read the letters. Everyone will see in the letters, obviously starting at the biggest, going down to the smallest, tells what you can read. And I sat there, closed my left eye, and I couldn't see any. I couldn't read any of the letters, and that's when it kind of hit me like, "Oh shit, this is serious. This isn't good at all." I actually came out of doing that test and said to my partner that, yeah, something's wrong here. So I went back and see the optician. The optician said to me, "It's nothing to do with your vision. It's something to do behind the eye. So it could be like the optic nerve." So he would refer me to ophthalmology at the hospital. So following week, I got an appointment at ophthalmology. I was in there for a few hours doing various different tests, scans of my eyes, photographs of my eyes, to then see the doctor. And the doctor said he wasn't sure what was wrong. Obviously, talked to him through my family history, made them aware of that. So from there, he sent me away to have some blood tests and said that I would have an MRI scan. So booked me an appointment for 2 weeks' time following on from that. And then the following week, I was waiting for the MRI. I still hadn't heard anything, so I rang the MRI department just to find out what was going on. And they told me I could be waiting 4 to 6 weeks, which is probably coming up to about now, which is a bit crazy because the doctor told me he wanted to see me the following fortnight afterwards, and for me to have the MRI in between. So I rang the ophthalmology department. They said that is just something that the doctor does. So obviously in the meantime, I'm going to work, and it's getting really difficult at this stage to work. I work on a computer. It's getting harder and harder. So in the meantime, I looked into going private for an MRI. Now we have like a healthcare that we pay into at work. We can claim like money back, but the price of a private MRI is very expensive. We have one in Leeds, one in Manchester, close to where I live in Doncaster. So I looked at a private hospital in Doncaster. I made some inquiries, made a phone call, and received a phone call back from a girl that I used to work with called Lindsay, who obviously recognised my name. I explained my situation to her. She said that the lead ophthalmologist was in surgery the next day, and she would speak to him and ask him to have a look at my case, which thankfully managed to rush things through. So that was on the Wednesday, so a week after the appointment, a week before the next one. And on the Thursday, I got a phone call at 5 p.m. just as I was leaving work to say I had an MRI test booked for the next morning. So I went for the MRI, went back to work, was expecting to then go for my appointment the following Wednesday, just to obviously find out the results of the MRI. The next day, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I got a phone call from the hospital to say the doctor wants to see you. I just presumed he might have wanted a chat the following week or to book an appointment or something. So when I asked when, she said no. I thought, oh, this isn't good. So off we went to the hospital. I got started on some IV antibiotics as they thought it could be like a condition like MS, an autoimmune disease or something like that. And the best way to treat that is with intravenous steroids, not through a catheter, as I told somebody the other week. That would be really painful. Nobody needs that. So I stayed in hospital for a couple of days at Doncaster, and got discharged to come back as an outpatient to have some more courses of steroids. In the meantime, I then went and saw the lead ophthalmologist for the hospital, who said he was referring me to Sheffield as he thought it could be neurological, as there'd been no change in anything they would expect the steroids to have worked after the first 1 or 2 doses. So, come the following Wednesday, I then went to Sheffield, to the Hallamshire, spoke to the neurology doctors there. They were unsure what was happening, but wanted me to see the neuro ophthalmologist on Thursday morning. So I had a night in Sheffield, had some more. Well, finished. I think it was 5 doses I had of steroids. Finished that. Went to see the neuro ophthalmologist, Mrs. Pepper, on Thursday morning. This was about the 1st of June, something like that. And that's when she obviously knew about my family history, knew about the genetic testing that had been done, previously and informed me that my sight wouldn't come back in my right eye and my left eye would go. It could be gradual, it could be very quickly. They're unsure. There's so much that is unknown about the condition. So yeah, that was a massive shock. Everything had been pointing towards something that could be fixed, and unfortunately it can't be. So we left hospital. We had to obviously talk about it as a family, try and find out what the next steps were. So if you would like to find out what's happened since then, since the beginning of June, obviously some of you may be aware there has been a lot happening. Stick around for part 2, but don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and just help me as a channel grow. It'd be appreciated. Thank you.